And now it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. Man, do we have a great show for you today. The boys from 22nd Street Landing and Independent Sport Fishing captains Mark Pisano and Paul Strasser join us. We've got so much to talk about. What great timing with the season getting rolling. Bluefin biting. It's going to be a great one. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. This is Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the mightier 1090.
Your San Diego County Ford dealer knows that vehicles are not one size fits all, and they have a variety to choose from to suit your individual wants and needs. Looking for a truck to handle both work and play? The legendary F-150 has you covered with its military-grade aluminum alloy body and high-strength steel frame and smart technology, like the available Pro Trailer Backup Assist to help you back up your boat with the turn of a dial. Or do you need a vehicle that's ready for your next adventure? The Ford Ranger is standing by, so grab your gear and let's go. This adventure-ready truck has an available terrain management system that has 4 selectable drive modes depending on what terrain you're on for optimum performance. Is an SUV more your speed? No problem. Your San Diego County Ford dealers have those too. The 2020 Ford Explorer has been completely redesigned inside and out and has available third-row power-fold seats to easily accommodate more passengers or cargo and available twin-panel moonroof to let the outdoors in. Visit buyfordnow.com to learn more or visit your nearest San Diego County Ford dealer today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
You've heard all about it. You know the anglers catching fish have it, so what's holding you back? It's a fact. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. You can get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Martin Island, 365 days a year. FishDope.com is for everyone, whether you have your own boat, fish on your friend's boat, or a sport boat. FishDope.com has online planning tools, moon phase, tides, hot bite icons, and more. So bottom line is, if you don't have FishDope.com, well, you're probably missing a lot of bites. Membership costs less than $50 of gas, and that's for the entire year. That's right, 1 year. What a bargain. Plus, use the special code to save $20 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
There are plenty of boat slips and marinas in San Diego, but there's only one Kona Kai. It's not just a place to park your boat. It's a way of life here in America's finest city. The Kona Kai Resort Spa and Marina has multiple swimming pools and a private beach, waterfront restaurants, and award-winning spa, most of which is included for marina tenants. Check ResortKonakai.com for more information. The Kona Kai Resort, much more than just a place to park your boat.
Back to Let's Talk Hookup. Boy, going to be a great show today. Like I said, just from the quick little teaser, what a great time and having the boys in the studio this morning. Feels like this last week is when fishing down here really, really got rolling. You know, you start hearing about tuna biting, and all of a sudden everybody's got a little bit of load of fish, and then you start hearing about limits, and boy, it's just it feels like things are really getting rolling, and we're stoked to have you guys in here. Good morning.
Good morning, Rick.
Yeah, certainly pumped to have you. And you guys always have been, probably always will be, a couple of the busiest dudes in the industry, because you always take advantage of a good opportunity when it presents itself, and you wear a lot of hats these days, and you just been kicking ass, and it's been really fun to watch, man. You always keeping things rolling in the fishing world.
I tell you, every year throws a challenge, a curveball. Obviously, this last year is the biggest curveball of our lives, all of us, every single one of us. So, yeah, it's been busy.
It just seems like as
we're just in this business, and we just go with the flow.
I dig it.
Before you know it, you got to sort of be wearing a bunch of hats.
The stories always come up of, you guys working together, as crew members when we were in high school, right? Like, I mean, and just it's been fun watching everything roll along between the 22nd Street Landing and all the boats you guys are a part of, all the boats that you guys have helped people that were in your shoes now get into, and bait operations and long range boats, and you just are always pushing forward.
Well, I backed off a little bit. I'm not involved as many boats at the landing anymore, mainly because I'm only one person. I can only do so much.
Yeah.
So between the bait company, the independents, Point Loma Sport Fishing, 22nd Street Landing, that's enough for me.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty fair. And how are things going? I mean, most known 22nd Street Landing season getting rolling here. We had a very breezy beginning of the spring, but now, sir, looks like conditions are starting to straighten out for the better. How's life up at 22nd Street?
Well, I mean, 22nd Street's doing really good.
That's awesome.
We have good boats. Mark's involved in the Freedom and the Amigo, which is a couple more boats to the landing. We got Mark could talk a little more about the landing too, but we're both involved there, and it's really, the landing's doing great. It all evolves around the bait. The bait is excellent for the landing, and I mean, the captains, the owner, it just really looks good for the future at 22nd Street.
Yeah. And how the bait operation was something that you guys took over kind of more out of necessity than anything else, right? Like you saw that opportunity, knew that you could provide bait for the landing that you needed it to be, and
well, yeah, I mean, it was more of a necessity because our bait hauler got kicked out of San Pedro, and here you got a couple, 3, 4 sport guys who were going to make it happen, and it's like anything else we've done together.
Right.
When we do it, we jump into it, and we try to do it right, but, you can't, we didn't jump into this with millions of dollars. We jumped into it with a limited amount of funds, so we started small, and we just keep rolling the money over and rolling over until we get to a point where now we're finally got things taken care of. We took on Newport Beach also. And we're getting involved in a little bit larger boat so we could take on someone else if need be,
Yeah, the bait business is such a specialized business.
I'm sure.
You're catching, a fish, and you're keeping it alive, and you're transferring it from the ocean to your boat back into the ocean, basically. Right. And then the sport boats, as we all know and listeners know, that's where the sport boats pick up their bait. So like Paul said, we were kind of forced into it because the bait haulers that were handling L.A. and Long Beach, they both had issues with their barges and their operations, and they basically moved them out of San Pedro. So there was no more bait in Pedro.
That doesn't work for us.
It doesn't work it doesn't work for any of the landings up there, and a lot of private boaters were complaining. The city had to do something about it, so they put an FRP out, and we happened to get it. And like Paul said, we started small, and we just, we got a little bigger boat, and then now we just last year we bought another boat up in Alaska, and
that's awesome.
So that's under construction. It's not under construction. We're just outfitting it out.
Yeah, making it right for what you're going to do with it.
So it's gonna be a little bit bigger boat, and that's something that if we need to fish offshore for like anchovies, or go to Catalina for squid, or Clemente for squid, it's more feasible with a bigger boat.
That's awesome. Now, was that? I mean, obviously you guys are sport boat guys. Worked on the boats for since you were kids and everything. Was that part of the business a tough thing to get used to? I mean, you fished with a hook and line forever. Was it tough to learn to fish with a net, or was what was that like for you guys?
Well, yeah, I had a background in it. I mean, I purse seined for almost 3 years.
Okay.
And my dad owned purse seiners. I was a sport fishing guy. He was a commercial guy. But I had the background, and I basically, when we got the company, I hopped on the boat and started to run in. And then Carl and Paul and Danny, we all just kind of slowly started taking turns with, each guy would get more time running the boat and setting the net. And so now, Carl passed away, of course, our partner, Carl Smith. And he kind of, he left a big hole in the company because he was such a hard worker.
Sure.
But, now it's just Danny, Paul, and myself in the company, and it's been rolling along.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And, like you're saying about how do we function, start getting on a boat with using a net. And it is different, but being what we do for a living, we learn to do it.
You're a fisherman,
and fishing with the nets, you got to know the bottom of the ocean.
Okay,
because you're dragging a net now not dragging a net, but when you're setting a net, you got to be careful about snags.
I'm sure.
That's a big part.
Well, yeah, it's if you touch the bottom with the lead line and you set somewhere you shouldn't, then you end up
in trouble.
Yeah. You shred your net up, and you don't catch anything, and you're back on the dock working on your nets.
You got to be smart. You got to be smart, and most of us are smart about what we do, and you know where to and where not to set the net. That's a big thing about bait fishing.
Yep, no doubt.
You're fishing shallow water.
No, I got you. Yeah. One of the things that you're so most noted for is the beautiful job you guys did on the Independence. Now, just such an elite class of long range boat. Who's out fishing right now? Right, the boat's out on a long trip.
Yeah, she's on a 16-dayer, and he'll be calling in around the 8:00 hour.
Excellent.
And that we've been on this show forever, it seems like, and that boat was one heck of a project. and like anything else me and Mark do together, we really do it right we try to do it right the first time. Last year we did repower the boat during this pandemic shutdown. We put a big pair of new 23-liter engines in the boat and new generators, and we did a lot of work to the boat last year.
Basically took the opportunity, if the boat's not running, let's do a major project. It's
major.
A boat like the Independence just doesn't sit. We were talking before the show, the boat's darn near full for the year already. I mean, that boat's always going, so rare that there's going to be an opportunity for you to be at the dock to get a project done like that.
Yeah, it was a curveball during the pandemic, but the best part about the pandemic, while we were putting these engines in, was there was nobody on the road, and I could get a lot of things done. Well, I was able to go to point A to point B in half the time, and we need another metric bolt for this and this and that. And I mean, we spent 2.5 months doing it, and it came out beautiful. Yeah, their boat's really performing.
Yeah, we
nice.
didn't plan on their doing the repower during a pandemic. It just happened that way.
Yeah. I mean, we had 80,000 hours on the old engines, and they were tired, but they were really dependable. The old ones, and we got new ones now. They're really performing well.
That's awesome, you guys. Well, I'm excited. The boat is just so great. It was so fun to see, again, kind of a lifetime's worth of you guys driving boats and working on boats and, from local to long range and thinking about all the things that you could build into the boat, and you got to do it yourself. And, the finished product got to be the Independence, and it's fun watching two guys that have their whole lives in sport fishing get to build a sport fishing boat. You had to have learned so much along the way when it comes to the construction of the boat.
Yeah, you summed it up. That's true. And I don't see building a new boat myself at this age, but the Independence is in really good shape still, so I don't maybe retire with that one.
What's kind of an eye-opener to me was after being on the Independence, and, me and Paul both were running the boat quite a bit when we first put it in the water. And we're not obviously on there as much now, but when I get on another boat, like the Freedom or the Amigo, like I did a trip last week on the Amigo, I'm a sissy now because that boat softened me up because it's such a big, comfortable, like, you have your own bathroom upstairs, you have your own shower, you got your own bunk, you got a lot of room, big upper deck. It's pretty crazy when you go back to like what we started with.
Sure.
Because your brain forgets about being cramped and bumping into stuff and getting thrown around in weather, where that boat is just big and stable, and it is a Cadillac. There's no question.
No doubt. Well, speaking of that big Cadillac, what is the Independence doing now? Obviously, you said they're a long trip. I mean, are you still running long trips this time of year? Have we started into the transition to shorter ones once this comes back? What are we looking forward to?
Yeah, this is our last long trip, 16-day. They had very good wahoo fishing. Matt said after the first 3 days or 4 days of fishing, the guys that wanted their wahoo had them.
Wow.
Like the guys that actually, tied a jig on and tried for them. Then other guys, they're trying for tuna. So, but he said it was really good wahoo fishing.
That's
and
great.
They did get, they had some nice tuna. They were getting anywhere from 15 to 25 tuna a day.
Great.
Most of that stuff was like 80 to 170. They did have a few cows. They had a few. You always have a few heartbreaks, big fish. That just goes with the territory. But overall, very good trip. It sounds like they're going to call in today about 8:00. I didn't talk to him the last couple of days of the trip, but I know he said they had fairly decent fishing overall.
That's great. Now, when we roll forward here, what are the trips like on the Indy? It's mostly short trips. Is a lot of 4 to 6 day trips. Like, what are we doing as the spring kind of starts to roll into summer?
Yeah, we're doing we start some 3-day like Bluefin trips now. Okay. So basically, every weekend from Friday, we depart on Fridays. Fish Saturday, Sunday, get in Monday morning. So 3-day, offshore trip.
Perfect.
So we'll leave. We'll try and get an early start. Maybe get in some fishing, maybe at Yellowtail at the islands or something, or maybe the local Bluefin. And then so we'll get like 2.5 days of fishing on them.
That's awesome.
And They're all sold out pretty much. I was just going to look up the schedule, but we do have a little time later on in the summer. But really, overall, super good bookings this year. I mean, we're probably at this time the best we've had in the 18.
Wow.
You know, this is going on season 18.
Is it
believe
really?
it or not? Yeah.
Wow.
It is crazy when you think about 18 years already. God.
Oh boy!
What a great thing, though. So, but again, if somebody does want to go, sprinkles here or there, and a big thing too that always happens is waiting list. You know, I mean, you guys have such a great staff taking care of the boat whenever you call. So you know, like you say, things can and do and for sure happen. So not like there's not going to be an opportunity to go ride the Indy this year.
It's pretty booked up.
Well, you know, I was looking at the schedule. We do have one spot on a 3-day trip.
Oh wow!
Departing right before 4th of July, June 28th, getting back on July 1st. There's one spot. That just opened up. And then we have actually on, which is a really cool trip, Sherman Limbs, the charter master. There's 8 spots on a 7-day, which is like July 10th to the 17th.
Prime time.
And I may hop on there and run that trip. I'm not sure yet. After that, I'm looking at red dots all the way to the next spot we have is November 26 on an 11-day.
Wow. That's a good trip. That 11 days.
Yeah, that was good. That's the time of year you get the bigger tuna down,
Sure.
you know, like in the lower banks, you know, like down there at the Lusitanian, Finger and Potato and all those banks. And then
it'd be a great opportunity to wahoo, you know, for a lot of guys that you hear about. So many people call the show. That fishing on my bucket list. I really want to, what kind of trip do I need to go on? And that's going to give you enough time that you'll be able to, if that wahoo's around, you'll be able to, you know, you're not just getting to the distance, you're spending some time in that.
Yeah, so an 11-day, it's basically an extended ridge trip. So you're gonna hit the ridge and probably spend a day or two around the ridge, depending on if there's wahoo or not on the ridge. And then you're gonna go down, do the Mag Bay stuff, you know, all the lower banks there, and then you're possibly doing Aleos Rocks as well. Awesome. You know, just depends what's there.
Yeah, totally. Well,
that's a great trip, though.
No doubt, and a great time of year too.
Yep.
You know, typically that latter part of the fall, we get some really nice stretches of weather. That should be a real good one, no doubt. Well, as you can hear, we got a great show. The boy, I mean, so much to cover with having Captain Mark and Paul in here. These guys have done it all, from shaking sand bass, you know, on the flats to putting big cows and big bluefins
to those things, anyways.
So much fun. I love having these guys in here because, like you said, I mean, you guys really do. You do all aspects of it, and you're born as fishermen, you know, and everything started, you know, working on a half-day boat. So I love having you guys in here. It's going to be a great show. So much cool stuff to talk about. And if you want to join us, we want to hear from you. Give us a call on Let's Talk Hookup this morning at 213-432-1090. Again, 213-432-1090. That's how you reach us here on Let's Talk Hookup this morning. Or shoot us a text. That's been a very popular option in addition here to Let's Talk Hookup. Text to the show. It's only available through the Let's Talk Hookup app, which is a free download on your Android or your iPhone device. Just search the Let's Talk Hookup app, and it'll pop right up, and you'll see the text the show option. They come right through to us. It's been a very busy option. We're usually not able to read all of them, but again, make sure to let us know where you're texting from, and we'll try to read some of the fun ones on the air. Again, give us a shot at that text, or give us a call, 213-432-1090. Not only are we talking fishing all morning, we are also giving away a killer prize. One lucky caller at the end of the show today is going to win a brand new handmade Anza fillet knife, an extremely high-end fillet knife. This is something that you're going to have for lots of years to come. Handmade Anza fillet knife going to one lucky caller at the end of the show today. So when we come back, we're taking your phone calls. We're talking with Mark and Paul. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. This is Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the mightier 1090.
Baja has long been a favorite of many anglers for its wild feel, beautiful vistas, great people, and fantastic fishing. This is Katie with Sidrose Island Fishing Charters. Sidrose Island is one of those destination spots that has a reputation all its own. Sidrose Island Fishing Charters will have you fishing all our favorite remote locations for your personal best yellowtail and calico bass. Our spacious pungas are all fully equipped with lots of bait capacity, along with large fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Or jump in one of our fully equipped Hobie Mirage Outback kayaks. Our captains are knowledgeable local fishermen who take pride in giving you a more personal island experience. Enjoy our single-room accommodations and spacious compound while our staff processes your catch and keeps you well fed with authentic cuisine and fresh pizzas from the wood-fired pizza oven. Check out our website, SidroseIslandFishingCharters.com, and all our social media for daily updates from the island during the season. Pick your dates on our online reservation system and come join us for a great time on Sidrose Island, or give me a call, 760-913-9035.
Henry David Thoreau said, "Many men go fishing all their lives. without knowing that it's not the fish they are after. Let me tell you, it's been one wild year, but one thing that still rings true is how nice it is to get out on the water. And at Fast Lane Kayaking, we have the tools to do it. Catch fish and social distance on the super stable and fully loaded fishing machine, the Hobie Pro Angler, now available with the Mirage Drive 360. Or explore our beautiful coastlines, bays, and lakes in comfort on a Hobie Compass or Passport. Or load up the car and hit the road with the inflatable Hobie i11S and kayak the stunning lakes in Eastern Sierra or wherever you can dream up. The Fast Lane team cannot begin to tell you how much we appreciate your business over the last 41 years. We are family owned and operated and always have been, and we're here to help you get on the water and spread the stoke. Check out our website at fastlanekayaking.com or stop by the shop in Dana Landing Marina, right on the water in Mission Bay. Let's get out and make some memories.
The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. Hi, this is Doug Kern. Our hardworking crew will make sure your fishing experience is one to remember. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. Fisherman's Landing is a full-service operation offering great half-day trips on the Dolphin and full-day open party trips on the spacious and comfortable Liberty. Since we introduced the full-day trips at Fisherman's Landing, the 85-foot Liberty has become a favorite among full-day operations with bunks for your comfort, huge bait capacity, and RSW fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Plus, Liberty has a big modern galley and 2 interior heads with showers. All our open party trips from half-day, full, or 1 to 3 day trips can easily be booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
For over 30 years, Sea Falcon has been manufacturing the finest handmade jigs and plugs, utilizing superior components and hand-painted finishes. Sea Falcon lures are made in Japan and are based on hand-carved originals, utilizing the highest level of quality and attention to detail. Gamakatsu's premium assist hooks are ideal to pair with Sea Falcon lures, providing you with one of the highest quality lure combinations on the market. When you're shopping for premium jigs and plugs to chase the fish of a lifetime, look no further than Sea Falcon.
It's time to go fishing. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. The perfect rod to handle the toughest fish is Shimano Terramar. The secret? TC4 blank construction with Tech Tape outer wrap to shield the fibers from the impact damage. Make sure to match your Shimano Terramar rod with a Shimano Tranx 500. X-Ship and HEG technologies combine to provide the Shimano Tranx massive cranking power with a smooth and effortless retrieve. For all your Shimano needs, visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning, talking fishing, again, talking independence. So much great fishing going on. Phones are absolutely packed solid. The texts are blowing through. Again, if you guys want to participate, shoot us a text via the Let's Talk Hookup app or give us a call on these jam-packed phones, 213-432-1090. Let's jump into the phones and start it off with Paul. He's calling us from Bellflower this morning. What's up, Paul? Thanks for getting us started here on Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, Rick, Paul, and Mark.
What's going on, Paul?
Hey, what's happening? Hey, you guys are just talking about the Amigo. I just came back from an overnight rock cod trip with them. Did a great job. Jeff did a good job. The question is, what's the name of the new boat that's getting remodeled right now? And how much for that 3-day trip you guys got going out?
Well, the new boat actually, Paul, is our bait boat. So it's not actually a passenger boat. And
still got a name though, right?
Yeah, it's going to be the Wolverine. Yeah, it's the Wolverine, and we kind of picked the name when we were in Alaska. We did some research. We saw Wolverine up there, and we did some research, and we go, man, that's cool. It hunts at night. It's kind of like a bait fisherman. It hunts at night.
That's awesome.
You know, and anyway, it's just, I don't know. We were looking for a name. I know our partner Danny doesn't like it. He says that sounds like a cartoon character, but. You know, after being up in Alaska a few days, we kind of like that name, so that's the Wolverine.
If you look at, like Mark said, if you look at what a Wolverine does and how he hunts, it describes a bait hauler.
That's a bad mother, man.
I mean, he'll
mess with the Wolverine.
He'll go 10 feet under the snow and kill an animal that's hibernating, just because,
So now, when the Wolverine is in service, will you keep the bait boat that you have? Like, will you just operate 2 boats, or is there just not a need for that, and the other boat will go away?
It all depends. You need a backup boat. I mean, St. Catherine does a great job. Mm-hmm. Hopefully the Wolverine is going to haul twice the bait. There are times in the summer where we're working 7 days a week, and it'd be nice to need and the best part is if squid shows up at Santa Cruz or someplace, we can send one boat to get that, and then another boat for bait. I mean, we'll have the options.
Yep, you guys do it right, always have.
And you had another question about cost. I think they're like those early season 3-day trips are priced pretty reasonable compared, since they're all kind of like early season trips. They're like $11.95, so $1,200. You know,
especially considering what that entails on the independence. If somebody hasn't been on a trip like that, maybe they fished with you on the Freedom or they fished on the Amigo. You were just talking about like how different the experience is being on a I always say it, on a ship like the Independence, but kind of a rundown what the day is like on a day like that. Just food and the service and your accommodations, and
it's a great starter trip. Yeah, you get to kind of feel out the operation if you want to do like a 7 or 10-day trip or any longer type trips. They're great starter trips.
In the 3-day trip, we don't cut any corners on the food.
Yeah.
I mean, our first night meal, that prime rib, whether it's a 10-day trip or a 3-day trip or a day-and-a-half trip, we're going to have that same presentations. Everything's the same because we want you to see what we offer on the longer trips. A 3-day trip is a great starter package. It's priced perfect,
right,
and you'll enjoy it. We have that one spot open. Someone should book that spot for the trip's over.
Boy, you want to talk about an opportunity these last few years, a 3-day trip, you're fishing the same grade of fish that you are at the Hurricane Bank. I mean, a 3-day trip right now with the opportunity of Bluefin the way that it has been, I mean, you might have the best world-class tuna fishing of your life could potentially roll on a trip like that.
There's a lot of Bluefin right now. A lot of Bluefin.
We'll take that just fine. Yep. Paul, great phone call. Thanks for getting us started here on Let's Talk Hookup this morning. Appreciate it very much. We had a great text from Darren in Menifee. I won a day and a half a couple weeks ago on the Tribute, and went fishing, had a great trip, excellent time, and he was talking about that great local bluefin fishing, and so nice that seemed like that first little wave of fish that came through was all those real big ones, and then now with some, it's almost not fair to call 40 to 60 pounder school size,
passenger
smaller fish.
They're passenger fish.
But boy,
we can land them.
It's great seeing that now both of those things seem to be at play. The mid-sized tuna as well as the giant. So it looks like we're certainly in for a great one. Well, Paul, appreciate the phone call. Ryan from Irvine is up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Good morning, Ryan. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, gentlemen. I got 2 questions for Paul and Mark. My first one is for 100-pound line and up, what type of knot you recommend to tie on? And do you guys got any important tips for pulling on bigger grade bluefin and yellowfin?
A couple of great questions.
Well, I mean, tips on pulling on big fish. I mean, obviously, if you're using heavy line, you'll be using a 2-speed reel. You'll be using heavy line 2-speed reels because a lot of those big fish are caught on kites or caught on, a little away from the boat, so you're able to get away with the heavier line. Most of that fishing's done with the rod sitting on the rail. Mm-hmm. Your formality, how you're going to bring them in, whether you're sitting on the rod or have it underneath your arm. I mean, there's a lot of that stuff. But a lot of the crews on these boats will guide you through it.
Totally.
That's the thing. I mean, we have a lot of inexperienced fishermen catching those big tuna, and we just show them how it's done, and they catch on immediately.
When you're on a boat like the Independence, the second that you come tight on a big fish, or any of the boats, right. I mean, but specifically on the Independent, the second you come tight, there is a crew member who is the most advanced person in the whole world at helping somebody catch a fish. They've been through so much, and I mean, every step of the way if you need it. From move your left hand back a little bit, put the rod on the rail, maybe try and sit on it right here. Like those guys have seen and coached thousands of people through that big fish,
and we're going to coach you in a way where we're not going to wipe you out.
Totally,
I mean, that big fish is not going to kill you.
That was
and we do real quick. We do seminars on the boat before we do expose you to these larger tuna. And once you hook them, we're right on top of you.
That was the first thing that came to my mind when he said some tips on pulling on a big one. And the one thing is, I mean, you need to keep a bend in the rod, and you need to turn the handle when it's appropriate to bring line on. But the biggest thing for me was just I maybe learned a long time ago was that you need to stay comfortable while you're doing it. Like you need to bend the rod and you need to turn the handle. Those are the only 2 things, and you just need to figure out how to keep yourself comfortable while doing those things. And if you can feel your back is super straightened out and your hands are too low, like you can feel it right away. And if you're feeling uncomfortable right off the bat, 20 minutes into it, you're gonna give out. So it's so much of it is just learning how to be comfortable while keeping the rod bent and turning the handle.
I'll say one other thing about call me old school or whatever. I like longer top shots for the stretch factor. Because especially bluefin, when you're drifting out, and if there's weather, you're rolling around. Some guys are using just 6 feet of mono or 6 feet of fluoro,
right?
And there's very little stretch. And if the boat's jerking around, you got to be really careful when that fish is getting close. Well, if you have Spectra, there's no stretch even when the fish is 200 feet down. So I've always liked a little longer top shot just for that stretch factor, just to give you a little cushion, because you've seen, Ricky, when your boat's rolling around, especially some of the smaller charter boats and stuff, you're rolling around, all of a sudden you come up on a swell and you have no stretch, and boom, you pull the hook or you break a hook or something like that. So I'm kind of old school like that. I like a little bit more mono in the water.
Little more like a casting length? Do you like 100 yards worth?
Not 100 yards. It's all personal preference.
Sure.
I mean, me personally, I like at least 100 feet. I like stretch. I like a little stretch. I mean, back in the day when we didn't use Spectra, I can remember buttoning down on these big yellowfin down, like when we're fishing on the Islander outside of Mag Bay on 80-pound mono. It spooled me, and I just locked down. And the thing, I call it rubber banding the fish. The fish just took all the stretch out of the line, and he couldn't pull anymore, and the line didn't break.
And that was it.
And I just rubber banded him back.
Totally.
I remember landing on 60-pound. I landed like a 220-pound yellowfin straight mono on a Shimano TLD 30, and just
there's no room for error at all anymore with super short top shot, and everybody wants to fish this tiniest hook possible, and there's so many things that are great for getting bites, but getting a bite is you're only halfway there.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, getting the bite, having the short top shot is great because they could pull that Spectra around so much easier. So the presentation the bait gives is much better. But once you got the fish hooked, then we're talking about a stretch situation. So
especially with all this big fish, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. Like having a big hook and having stretch in the line just makes up for. You can make so many more mistakes with that and not pay the price for it.
I think that's the best way to put it. You can get by with things like, say you're not paying attention. All of a sudden, you allow the fish to kind of catch you, and you pull too hard or whatever. Or the boat rolls and you come up on the fish too fast. You kind of have to adjust. When you're fighting a fish, there's times when the boat's moving around where you kind of have to lower your rod.
Totally.
And if you're not paying attention and it's choppy weather, you do lose fish like that.
You're fine in the stern, and now you go to the bow. Now the boat's moving twice as much, or whatever the scenario.
And then you could put 50 feet on one day or 150 feet the next day. Depends on weather and depends on the bait, how big the bait is, how the fish are biting, how touch. You have to accommodate the fishing according to how the fishing is.
Sure. Now, what about his other question? Do you 100-pound test? Are you still tying a knot? Is that a level that you start to crimp at? What do you like for that?
It depends on how big. If the knot needs, if you don't mind having a little bit larger knot, the double San Diego is the strongest. One of the strongest knots. Double San Diego is a very strong knot. Joe Miller's a good knot. There's quite a few good knots, but it depends on how big. Some of these yellowfin aren't as smart as the bluefin, so you can get away with a little larger knot.
Double San Diego, probably about the strongest thing you can tie. But like you said, 100-pound test, that's a big knot.
It's a big knot.
And if you're tying that to a 10-0 and you've got a big giant,
junk bait,
or a big scat or something, that's lesser of a deal. But trying to fish a sardine, there's a lot of knot there.
Yep. I don't like putting the crimps on until I get a little bit larger than 100, because all it takes a little bit. You do it incorrectly a little bit, either you can slide off or you break the line. So I like using knots up to 100.
Ryan, I hope that answers your question for you. Appreciate the phone call very much. How about next up, we talk to John. John's calling us from Escondido this morning. Good morning, John. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Just want to give you kudos. But love coming fishing up to your landing, right? Free parking, and you guys do everything. It's a ways off, but come October, I come up there and fish the Triton and the Gale Force, and they go over to Catalina. You get the lobster hoop. And it's a reasonable price. You get to it leaves at noon, comes back at midnight. And you even get to fish the island for a few hours before the sun goes down. So those are great trips. But the freedom, just it's a great smorgasbord of boats that you get to pick from, and you always see that you're doing all kinds of good things with the landing and upgrading and everything like that. So thank you for everything you guys do.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for the comments. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Hey, we had a fun text come through. This one was from Ken in Chula Vista. Said, I got the chance to watch the Independence in the yard here at Marine Group in Chula Vista while I was doing a big project of my own, and I was amazed at how big and beautiful that boat was out of the water. Just curious what kind of maintenance you guys were doing.
Oh my God!
Well, we did about $135,000 worth of damage.
we had to do this little replacement of some small steel jobs and tidy up some things that weren't able to finish up last year.
I certainly know what Ken means, though. That boat, when it pulls into Point Loma Sport Fishing, it's amazing looking. It's so impressive. That boat out of the water is a whole nother animal. Like, that is a really, really big thing. You know, and you just don't realize how much more of it is when you're standing on dry ground looking up at it.
Yeah, and building it for 2.5 years. You know,
the hull's a little different design. It's 28 feet wide at the lowest
29.
point. 29 at the water. Okay, 29 at the lowest point in the water. So a lot of boats, how they shear in.
Yeah.
That depends how a boat rides. So a boat might be 30 feet on deck, but it might be 20. Like the first string was a perfect example. It was 25 feet on deck. It was 18 feet at the chine.
Okay.
So it had a lot of flare. So it rolled around a little bit more, but we're pretty wide in the water. And, we did a full paint job this year. And
shafts,
there's other
props,
shafts
bearings.
came out, new bearings. Shafts got sent in and checked. They were all pretty good. Different new set of props that we had we have 2 sets. We put our bigger, we call them speed props on. Yeah, it just there's always something to do. Strip the rails down, redid the rails, painted all the bulwarks this year, a bunch of engine room work, you name it.
I'll tell you, I'm sure doing rails and bulwarks on the Amigo's got to go a little bit faster than Independence. There's a lot of rail on that boat to deal with.
240 feet.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, a great text, Ken, and I'm sure you enjoyed getting to watch the boat out of the water. With that said, we're going to find out what's going on in the Baja. It's time for our Catch Report with Cast Tours standing by right now, and that Catch Report is sponsored by the Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. Not only do they offer the best processing for your fish when your trip returns to the San Diego landings, as well as your private boat catch, but now with Fish Pros The Market, you can purchase fresh fish, smoked and jerkied fish. They have their spices, rubs, smoked cheese, their famous tuna burger, and that amazing poke kit. They're all open now at the brand new the brand new location in Old Town on Taylor Street. Call for details or order online at fishermansprocessing.com, and you got to go see that new Old Town location. It's they did a great job, and good opportunity to go pick up your poke kit for this bluefin you're about to catch. With that said, we got the cast man standing by. Richard Castaneda, buenos dias, cast man.
Hey, Ricky, what's going on, man?
Oh, I would just wish we were heading down to Loretto with you guys to go catch some big ones.
I'm sure. I'm telling you, it's going to be a crazy and wild 4 or 5 days down there. We got 44 anglers with fishing 22 boats, and it's going to be a hoot. Plus, we got some good festivities going on. We've got, of course, tomorrow on the arrival night, we're having a hosted cocktail party by the Michon, and then on Monday we're going over to the Zopalote Brewery for a nice function there that the Loretto Tourism putting on for us. And then Tuesday night will be our awards dinner, and then we got a free day on Wednesday, so the guys want to fish. Actually, we got quite a few guys fishing on Wednesday. I think we've got 12 boats fishing on Wednesday, and then Thursday we come home. But as far as fishing goes, it's turning on big time, and I think we're going to hit it just right. Most of the fish are averaging 20 to 25, but there have been some 30, 35, and 40-pounders being pulled out. I heard of 145. And, of course, those small, I think it's a 70-gram Colt Sniper in the blue and silver has been producing some pretty good catches fish because the yellows are fishing on some small baits, and I think they might be small sardinas. I'm not sure. But I've definitely got some of those packed in my tackle box.
Nice.
And long bait hooks and so forth. And, of course, then we'll be trolling for cabrilla and pargo and so forth around the reefs there. But it's going to be fun. And I understand Pete and his buddy Steve Pazel left today, and I already told him, if I hear you're pre-fishing, you're done. I'm going to disqualify.
Get after him. I think that's a good move. The only thing I heard of Pete was that he was going to El Rey Taco Shop as soon as he landed.
Oh yeah, that's the place, and you got to get there. The guy's only open from like 9 in the morning till like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. So you got he must do pretty well if he can just work those hours. But Yeah, moving down to San Jose del Cabo and La Paz and areas, the yellows are pretty thick down there too. With San Jose del Cabo, though, this is normally a good time for tuna. They're spotting a lot of tuna, especially out at the Iman Bank. They're breezing, they're rolling on baits, but they got tight lips right now. So, but there's been some nice quality fish spotted, up to 100-pound fish rolling around out there. So look for that to really break loose here the next day or two. Dorado are starting to come in now. You start seeing those big bulls and females starting to come into the Loreto and La Paz area. And, of course, those fish will move up into, La Paz and San Jose del Cabo and East Cape area. And then, of course, those fish will move up into Loreto for the summer, usually mid-June to middle of August is kind of prime Dorado season there. But anyway, just a quick note, I've got a Pedicee trip June 1 to 8. I've got some space on that, so anybody who wants to fish Panama on what I call Panama on a budget, it's going to be a full week, lodging, meals while we're out at Pedicee, 4 days commercial ponga fishing, all ground transfers, and it works out about $1,600 plus airfare, and I do have space on that. And if you're dying to fish Panama and go to the tuna coast and catch a lot of tuna, then give me a call and we can do that. But best number is 800-593-6510, or check us out on the web at www.casttours.com. I'll talk to you boys next Saturday with a report from the Wahoo Rumble.
Hey, Castman, I got a question about Panama. What area are you fishing down there?
Pedicee.
Now, where is that? Guys, I fished down just above that Colombian border a little ways. Is that near I can't even remember the name of the fish camp down there, but I would like to get up and fish cobia. But do you guys fish that area?
Oh, yeah. Well, we do with Pesca Panama. I think you probably went to Tropic Star.
Yeah. Well, I was on a yacht, but we were anchored in that bay where Tropic Star was, and we fished outside there.
Great area. But, yeah, Coiba Island, we fish Coiba, Montosa, Jicaron on the Pesca Panama trip, which is a livable.
The mothership style trip where they have a beautiful barge that you stay on, and then you fish out of like a 31-foot twin outboard center consoles, and you blast around with fishing. This trip to Pedicee is a really cool trip, and Cass said it best, it's Panama on a budget. I mean, you're fishing, you're in Panama for a week, all the meals, all the fishing, all the everything for $1,600.
Wow.
Obviously in airfare, but there's some good opportunities on airfare. And Pedicee's a really unique thing. I always said it was it reminded me of fishing in Baja. You're fishing on pongas, big pongas, plenty comfortable, great local captains and crews, but you're fishing for what Panama has to offer. Great tuna fishing, great wahoo fishing, and then all of the obviously that's the highlight stuff that everybody talks about, but the junk fishing is the best in the world. Just all the jacks and rainbow runners and cool snappers and all the stuff that you catch down there. That Pedicee is a really, really cool trip for not a ton of dough.
Where is Pedicee? I've never heard of it.
It's on the Pacific and what they call the Azuero Peninsula, and it's about a 5.5-hour drive from Panama City. And I hire a 28-passenger air-conditioned bus to transport us to and from, and very comfortable. And we make a couple of stops on the way, get a bite to eat, do a potty stop and so forth. But about 5.5 hours, and then we spend 5 days, 6 days and 5 nights there, and then first and last night in Panama City. But a great trip. Anybody who wants to do it, give me a call.
Great job, Castman. One more time, shoot us a phone number if somebody's interested in that and interested in going to Loreto with you. All the great stuff going on. How do we find you?
800-593-6510. Talk to you next week, Ricky.
Castman, appreciate that very much. Thanks a lot. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way, including we got more catch reports. We got a lot of your phone calls. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the mightier 1090.
It's a fact of life in Southern California. Hard water. And if you have a pool, your tile shows it. Here comes San Diego Pool Tile Cleaning to the rescue. With their specialized equipment, SD Pool Tile Cleaning can safely remove the stubborn calcium deposits most pool owners struggle with. SD Pool Tile Cleaning can make your tile look bright and clean, almost like new again. High-pressure pool maintenance cleaning can damage grout, stone, and dislodged tiles. San Diego Pool Tile Cleaning uses a low-pressure media blasting technique to protect your pool surface from damage and yield fantastic results. So stop making excuses for your stained tiles on your pool. Make them look like new again with San Diego Pool Tile Cleaning. Check their website at sdpooltilecleaning.com and let their professional staff rejuvenate your pool tile. When it comes to professional swimming pool tile cleaning service, there's only one name you can trust: San Diego Pool Tile Cleaning. Check sdpooltilecleaning.com.
All right, it's time to talk about great gear from Shimano with his Bluefin fishing. How could you not talk about that brand new Speedmaster by Shimano? A fantastic, inexpensive, 2-speed reel, great free spool, great drag, tons of torque. I always say it's not really fair to compare it to, but you can't help it. For me, Speedmaster to Talica is similar to Torium to Trinidad. You know, it's a lesser expensive version of a similar reel that makes great free spool, great drag, available in sizes 12 all the way up to a 25. A great choice for fly line at a bait to catch a big bluefin and still being easy on the budget. Great reel. Check them out at your local dealer. For more information, check out Shimano.com.
Many years ago, Baja pioneer Bob Van Wormer found the area he called the Great Fish Trap in the East Cape of southern Baja and built what is now regarded as the premier East Cape resorts of Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Today, following in their father's footsteps, Bob's sons, Bobby, Chucky, and Eddie, have taken Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol to new levels with the largest sport fishing fleet in Mexico, a luxurious spa, and top-of-the-line resort amenities. Van Wormer Resorts have become a destination for travelers worldwide. But for us, Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol are just a short 2-hour flight away. No other tropical fishing destination offers the experience and value that you'll find at Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Now you can plan your Baja fishing vacation quick and easy by visiting VanWormerResorts.com. And when you're ready to book, it's quick and easy. Or simply call 877-777-TUNA for more information. Van Wormer Resorts, the East Cape's finest.
This is Captain Art Taylor of Searcher Sport Fishing. Celia and I would like to thank all of our great customers for helping celebrate Searcher's 50th anniversary. Our 2021 schedule is available now with more limited load trips. The Searcher has a great crew, fantastic food, a family atmosphere to make your fishing adventure complete. Book your trip online at searchersportfishing.com. That's searchersportfishing.com. Or call Celia at 619-226-2403.
For your next fishing adventure, check Point Loma Sport Fishing. They offer half-day trips on the Daily Double and full-day trips on the Mission Bell every day. Perfect for novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips on the American Angler, Vagabond, Intrepid, Independence, Guloan, T-Bird, Game Changer, and more. Visit PointLomaSportFishing.com where you can purchase tickets online. Want to go fishing? Point Loma Sport Fishing has you covered.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning, talking fishing, 22nd Street land, and talking the Indy, and having a great time with the boys here. Phones have been packed up for this first round, but if you want to get through, plenty of opportunity. 213-432-1090. Let's jump back into the phones. We're going to talk to Fred, who's calling us from Idaho this morning. Good morning, Fred. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Well, good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for taking my call.
Morning, Fred.
First of all, I wanted to tell, how you doing? Mark and Paul, I want to tell you, the Indy is not a boat. It's a ship. And it's my go-to boat for long ranging. And I saw how the boat was constructed, I believe, in Bill Rocker's long-range fishing book that he wrote. And I don't believe that the Independence came out of that. It's amazing. But it really is. And I was on one of your 8-day trips 2 seasons ago, and Oscar remembered me from my 2012 trip, and your crew is so amazing. And I got to tell you, the ambiance of being out there, and I don't even have to fish. All I have to do is watch. It's that beautiful. And my grandson and my son were on the last trip, and my grandson, he's 20. He was 20 at the time, caught his first wahoo and all those things, and it's just great. And when you come to the landing, and anybody who thinks that long-range fishing is intimidating, all you have to do is go there. On my 12-dayer, I went there by myself, and it was just amazing how the crew came on and took all your gear and helped you on board, and it's just so easy. I can't stress it enough. And Judy up in the office, oh my God, she's just wonderful.
She's the
really
best.
helped us through. But I just wanted to give you a great kudos, guys, because your boat is just amazing.
Thank you. You know, it all starts the minute you get out of your car, and we want to make the experience of a lifetime. You're spending a lot of money, and we appreciate it, but we want to give you your money's worth, and it's important for you to feel at home when you're on our boat.
Totally. If you need a hand, there's the Red Shirt crew at Point Loma Sport Fishing. I mean, they'll literally help you get your box out of your truck and get your cart loaded up. And I mean, I think Fred said it best. You just need, once you show up, you're pretty much taken care of until it's time until you're driving home with your fish and everything again. Like,
first impressions are so important.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well said, Fred.
Absolutely.
Appreciate the phone call very much. Hey, we got a special guy on the line that knows a thing or two about making sure everything's taken care of, and that's our buddy Captain Frank Lepresti's on the line. What's up, Frank?
Morning, Rick. Morning, Paul. God, it's so nice to hear these wonderful compliments. We've got so many boats that do such a fabulous job, isn't it?
That's what's best part about this operation down here in San Diego.
Yeah,
no doubt.
You know what I was going to say, too, and we got Frank online, and he's been here so long, right? He's the godfather. But the infrastructure, we've heard the word infrastructure a lot lately with this new budget plan thing. But the infrastructure built around San Diego Fleet is anywhere in the world like it, where you have fish processing, you have, your bait, you have everything around that you need. You have the parking, you have the boats, you have these boats. You're not going to find these boats anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
Period.
You won't. Nope.
Yeah, this just doesn't exist.
Yep.
Well, anyhow, you guys, I think, are probably well aware that there was some very good fishing yesterday and last night. I don't know if Renee called in yet, but he had very good fishing until midnight. He's all done fishing. He's headed south looking for big ones. So most of the fish was in that 25-pound range. There's some smaller, and there's some up to 50, 60 pounds. So he had excellent fishing until midnight last night and left the area. So
that's great news, Frank.
There's some guys who just had some sensational fishing. The other thing I wanted to point out is, as many people know, Alliar on the Polaris Supreme is pretty filled out, but we had a couple of gaps, so we added a 3-day trip in June and a 3-day trip in November. If anybody's interested, they can call Lindsay and get hooked up. So that's it. Let's hope this fishing continues, and good luck to you guys. Over.
That's great news, Frank. Now, on that fish that the boys on the Shogun had there, you said it bit till midnight. Is that the type of thing where it started in the dark, so all like flat fall and sinker rigs, or do you start daytime fly line and sardines, or was it all a nighttime thing?
He had good fishing in the morning, and then in the afternoon it was harder to get bites, but they'd pick at them.
Okay.
And then right before dark, they hit a nice breezer, and it stayed with them until midnight.
Nice.
So,
that's awesome. How cool.
And
nice for April.
There was fly line fish, there was sinker fish, and probably best was flat fall fish.
Awesome. Well, that's great info, buddy. We sure appreciate you keeping us up to date, and way to go for those guys in the Shogun. And great tip. Like you said, fishing with Captain Alliar on the Polaris Supreme, been very, very busy, not a lot of opportunity. So cool that a couple of new trips that we might be able to jump on that beautiful boat.
All right. Thanks, you guys. Thank you, Paul.
Frank. Appreciate the phone call very much.
Take care.
Yeah, you too.
All right,
bye-bye.
All right, well, the phones are packed up. Everybody's trying to talk to the boys, so let's jump back into them. We're going to talk to Ron. He's calling us from Valley Center this morning. Hi, Ron. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hi. How you doing, gentlemen? I got a question, a little bit of history. In the 1950s, I worked for the Inter-American Tropical Tuna Commission. It was a research organization researching the populations of tuna in the Pacific, and I just wondered if that organization was still in operation. They worked out of Point Loma, and we go out on jack pole tuna boats and tag tuna. Is that still going on?
Yeah, sure is. It's ongoing. They manage mostly yellowfin tuna, but they also do. I think they're involved in the bluefin, as well as SAC, the local bluefin.
Yeah.
A lot of boats are involved in a program where they do they do measurements and they do research on the local bluefin as well.
But yeah, still going strong.
Yeah.
All right, well, appreciate the phone call nonetheless. Yeah, certainly a lot of fun talking about that. Well, speaking of kind of some history, we had a fun text come through from our buddy Phil. Said, boys, I'm loving the show, love hearing about the history. Can you tell us a little bit more about back in the days at 22nd Street? The Indian, the New Hustler, the Mustang, Shig, Tanaka. Thanks. That's from our buddy Phil. Said, wanting to hear about the old days.
Where do we start?
Well, I started at 22nd Street as a 13, 14-year-old kid. Going down and helping clean the boats when they came in. That's back when all those boats were there that he's talking about.
Well, but if you want to go way back, I mean, a lot of your guys, Bruce Barnes started at 22nd Street.
Yeah.
You had Russ Iser. Bill lived up there for a few years.
Now, Bill Poole, I'm not sure where Bill was. Bill was, I know Bill lived in Lomita, which is real close to where I live now.
A couple years.
Yeah, he lived up there, and I think he ran out of 22nd Street as well. Because I knew him and Iser were friends.
Right.
And from fishing up there, and then he made the move down south here at some point.
Then you have Frank Hall. Frank Hall started after the war.
Frank Hall was a stalwart up there.
Yeah.
But, we started running a boat there in 84, which was the first year of the first string. So myself and Paul helped build the first string for about a year, huh, Paul?
A year up in Marina Del Rey, yeah.
And you guys were working on other boats and
Sport King.
Okay.
Yep.
The first trip
while that boat was in the yard, you were part of the team.
We were building me and Mark would drive the Marina Del Rey Monday through Friday.
Okay.
And then I'd run the Sport King Saturday and Sunday. And that's just what we did for that whole year of 83.
Yeah, and I was running a little charter boat called the Real Special. It was about 20 passenger 3/4 day, but overnight it probably slept 15 people. I was running that. So we were both running boats and helping build a boat, but
Yeah, the New Hustler too. You had the
you had the Patrician, which is now the CC Biscuit. You had
the Charisma.
You had the New Hustler 2. You had the Charisma.
They built that 76.
God, what other boats? The Indian, of course, was there. There was a lot of boats. But back in the day, I mean, I'm talking I was probably 10 or 12 years old at first. There was a Sport Fisher.
Sport Fisher was there?
The Sport Fisher ran out there. I remember my brother took me out fishing, and it was god-awful rough, and I got seasick. And I sat in the galley, and I remember having this rain check. I never used it. And I had a rain check for years, and I finally I wish I would still have it.
Yeah,
Sport
on
Fisher,
the board. Totally.
Full fair rain check. We went out and turned around.
Was Don McLean on the boat then?
I don't know who was running the boat. I was so young. I can't. I don't remember. I just remember sitting in the galley, and it was just things were flying everywhere.
The Buster Hyder was there back in the days, long time ago, back in the 50s, 60s.
And then you had the Sea Sport.
Glenn Ladner.
Yeah, so I remember fishing that boat, and I can remember rock cod trips in there to the volcanic reef.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of history there.
Yeah.
That's, God, I try to search it. I know that 22nd Street was there in World War II, but I'm not sure how much before that.
Joe Martin Sport Fishing.
Yeah, it was Joe Martin.
Yeah.
22nd Street. It was Joe Martin was the guy that started it. Yeah.
That's great.
And Frank had the sharpshooter, and then he went up to San Francisco and bought the America, which is now the Grande, and started running that boat.
Is that where he got it?
Yeah.
So somehow it got up to San Francisco because originally it was built in Costa Mesa and was a local.
Okay.
So they built the Freedom, the Liberty, and the Grande. Mm-hmm. Right? Or it was the Grande was the America.
Yeah.
Liberty still Liberty, Freedom still a Freedom. Right? Those three boats.
Yeah, and they were all sister ships.
They're all sister ships.
Okay.
So originally when they built them, the Freedom was going to be a half-day Catalina Island boat.
Fast boat.
It was 16 knots
16,
when they put that thing in the water.
Kidding.
The Liberty, I think, was built to be an overnight boat, and the Grande was built actually to be a Guadalupe 5-day boat from Pierpoint.
In the very beginning.
Old Pierpoint.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even tell you the years. Probably when I was, still swimming around. But so that didn't work out. The whole Guadalupe thing, I think they ran some 5-day trips to Guadalupe, and I don't know, the logistics and, bait and everything else.
Sure.
It's not like it is now, where you have cured bait and you can, go to faraway places and have bait to fish and time and fuel and water. Now we have water makers. Back then,
sure.
We had water makers.
Saltwater showering back then.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of history at 22nd Street.
Yeah, no doubt. That's awesome. Well, great text, Phil.
A lot of guys were raised at 22nd Street.
No doubt. Yeah.
I mean, Kiyahara. There's a lot of guys down here that started up there and came down here.
Yeah, I knew Brian Kiyahara when he worked on the Hustler and
with George Mio.
George Mio, and I think we were running Brian's a little bit younger, 3 years younger than us, so he was on the Hustler. We were on probably the first string of it.
First string / Sport King, that era, I think.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the mighty year 1090. This is Rock Cod Rick for Adventure in Camping, where they bring the adventure to you. If you enjoy camping in the Eastern Sierra but don't own an RV or a trailer, or simply don't want the hassle, let Adventure in Camping park it for you. It's simple. Check out their website, adventureincamping.com, select from over 75 campgrounds they serve, decide on a trailer floor plan that fits your needs, request a quote for your desired vacation dates, then just show up and start your adventure. Dallas and I did exactly that, and it was incredible. We chose a beautiful Mammoth area campground. Adventure in Camping delivered the trailer to our spot. We showed up, enjoyed a clean, spacious trailer without any of the hassle. When it was time to go home, we just closed the door and drove away. It doesn't get any easier. If you enjoy camping in the Eastern Sierra but don't want the hassle, Adventure in Camping is for you. Check out adventureincamping.com for details. Make sure to mention Rock Cod Rick sent you for a special 20% off offer, but this special won't last long, so go to adventureincamping.com today.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Leonero.
Rancho Leonero is very family-oriented. People have brought their children down, and now they're bringing their children. It's not unusual to have 3 generations of family at the hotel. Grandpa, Dad, and normally sons, sometimes daughters. The families come back year after year, and it's a safe place for the kids. It's small, it's intimate, right on the water, 2 miles of beachfront. The water's very shallow in front. There's no currents to speak of, no waves. We have childcare, $10 a day for a babysitter. Security is high at Rancho Leonero. It's really unnecessary, but it adds up comfort level. And we really do encourage the families. It's a great place for family reunions, family get-togethers, weddings. We do it all. 1-800-646-2252, 646-BAJA. And RanchoLeonero.com. There's nowhere that I could think of to have the same atmosphere and the same experience that you get at Rancho Leonero. We love families.
Shimano has done it again. An amazing lever drag 2-speed reel at an affordable price. It's Speedmaster 2, the extremely durable, high-performance Speedmaster 2 with high maximum drag power and a smooth, ultra-wide range of drag adjustability is an absolute fish-fighting machine. Its rigid Hagani body prevents misalignment of moving parts under the heaviest loads. Plus, a spare drag cam is included for optimal use with monofilament lines. The Speedmaster is now available in 4 models, 12, 16, 20, and 25. This is the perfect reel for the angler looking for a powerful, lightweight, smooth casting reel for tuna or other powerful saltwater game fish at a more affordable price. Nothing in its class can match the Shimano Speedmaster 2, built to provide high-end performance and dependability in a compact, lightweight frame. Get the Shimano Speedmaster 2 lever drag reel at your local Shimano dealer. Check Shimano.com for all the details.
Your San Diego County Ford dealer knows that vehicles are not one size fits all, and they have a variety to choose from to suit your individual wants and needs. Looking for a truck to handle both work and play? The legendary F-150 has you covered with its military-grade aluminum alloy body and high-strength steel frame and smart technology, like the available Pro Trailer Backup Assist to help you back up your boat with the turn of a dial. Or do you need a vehicle that's ready for your next adventure? The Ford Ranger is standing by, so grab your gear and let's go. This adventure-ready truck has an available terrain management system that has 4 selectable drive modes depending on what terrain you're on for optimum performance. Is an SUV more your speed? No problem. Your San Diego County Ford dealers have those too. The 2020 Ford Explorer has been completely redesigned inside and out and has available 3rd-row power-fold seats to easily accommodate more passengers or cargo and available twin-panel moonroof to let the outdoors in. Visit buyfordnow.com to learn more or visit your nearest San Diego County Ford dealer today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
A top fleet and superb fishing is what Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, it's no wonder Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limits, Elgato Dos, Pride, Tribute Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open parties schedule, check SeaforthLanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.